Ever find yourself waiting endlessly at a big box pharmacy, feeling like just another number? At Tablet Pharmacy, they provide the personalized service you deserve. They offer free delivery and blister packaging options to make managing your medications easier than ever. Check their competitive prices online at tabletpharmacy.ca.
Peter and Dave, they're on the mic, so alright. Join the ride, it's gonna feel just right.
Welcome back to the Pulse Community Podcast. I'm Peter McCully, and we're watching spring become established here on mid-Vancouver Island. The days are longer, the gardens are waking up, the air is filled with the sounds of the season.
And I'm Dave Graham. Yes, the birds are calling, the kids are playing, the antique vehicles are back on the road, and the lawnmowers are busy, along with the weed trimmers and the edgers and the blowers and the silent but unmistakable voices of my neighbors saying, "Hey, Dave, isn't it about time you cleaned up last year's leaves?"
And are you feeling motivated, Dave?
Oh, yes, I got inspired to get active, and I will, just as soon as I find my rake. I'm pretty sure it's in the garage, but it's a bit hard to move around in there right now, so I think that cleaning out the garage needs to be my first project.
Sounds like you've got a lot going on there, Dave.
And maybe when I go in to find my rake, I'll come across the lawnmower.
Sounds as though you're almost on the verge of starting to get a few things done.
You know, Peter, that pretty much describes my life at any given moment. So what else is going on?
Well, lots of folks are planning for the Easter weekend, which means the great debate is back, Dave.
Turkey or ham?
Yes, turkey or ham.
The answer to that is yes. I have given this much thought, and I believe that is the best answer. Have both. Throw in some kind of potato situation, maybe something green, and you have the kind of meal that might even get Mom's approval. Add to that an Easter egg hunt for the grown-ups, and you have an event.
You want to go looking for Easter eggs, Dave?
Why should the children be the only ones to have all the fun? I'm perfectly capable of searching behind couch cushions and under shrubs and feeling the joy of discovery.
Well, along the way, maybe you'll find that rake, Dave. This week on the podcast, Laura Kelsey, a Nanaimo-based vocalist, songwriter, filmmaker, and poet whose work spans from symphonic rock stages to documentary film sets, is releasing her debut full-length album, Hidden Mountains.
I've lived here for almost 10 years. I absolutely love it. I feel like it's very accepting in most ways, has a really engaging art scene. Even the city puts a lot of funding into arts. We've got these visual art installations around town, murals. It's a very cool place. The downtown is very bustling, like the art gallery, the museum, the library is absolutely beautiful. But then the venues, too, are very supportive.
Singer, songwriter, filmmaker, poet, how would you even find time to hunt for Easter eggs with all that going on, let alone debate turkey versus ham?
Also joining us today, Dave, Daniella Novak, the CAO of the Qualicum Beach Chamber of Commerce. Daniella has been shaping the future of business in Qualicum Beach for years, and she has a lot to say about what the future looks like.
We want you to be successful doing business here. So whatever we can do to help move or alleviate hurdles, perceived or otherwise, whatever we can do to alleviate those, that's the future of the Chamber of Commerce, is let's figure this out. How do we keep sustainability happening at Qualicum Beach and the economic driver, which is tourism for us?
Alleviate hurdles. Ooh, I like that. I have a few hurdles I'd like alleviated. Aside from locating missing garden tools, I could use a hand managing the price of gas, huh?
Well, couldn't we all? And folks will be hitting the roads this summer to catch some shows. The concert season is ramping up. Coming to our area this summer, 5440, April Wine, and the Chris Buck Band, with events including Rock the Course, Beach Fest, Boots and Boats, and Sunfest. On a future edition of the podcast, we'll be chatting with Greg Adams. The former NHLer is the man behind Sunfest and the Lake Cowichan Benevolent Society.
We will also speak with Erin Cully Drake, an author who can tell us about the ups and downs of writing a book using artificial intelligence. I tried to use AI to help me plan a strategy for hunting Easter eggs. Instead, it suggested that maybe I have a problem with chocolate. I tell you, AI is stupid if you ask me.
We'll also hear what's happening at the Parksville Museum from Sarah Ronald. The museum is a busy place with lots of exciting things coming, including a live music concert series.
And Chris Buck of the Chris Buck Band will stop by to tell us about Boots and Boats, a singer-songwriter festival in Nanuus.
When families are supported, our whole community thrives. That's why SOS launched For Our Families, a campaign dedicated to keeping essential and enriching SOS child, youth, and family programs open, accessible, and vibrant. You can make a donation through the SOS website, and you can help by teeing off at the first ever SOS For Our Community Golf Tournament, June 6th at Morning Star Golf Club. For just $180 per person, enjoy the driving range, 18 holes of golf, a golf cart, buffet dinner, on-course challenges, the chance to win a brand new vehicle from Parksville Chrysler, and other great prizes. Bid on great local items in the silent auction. Support local children and youth. Strengthen local families. Learn more at sosd69.com.
Ian Lindsay of Lindsay and Associates has played an active role in the local community since 1979. He has been with RE/MAX, Vancouver Island's most advanced real estate business network, since 1996, marketing and selling residential, rural, strata, recreational, investment, and project development real estate. Ian has received several awards recognizing his exceptional community commitment locally, as well as awards for outstanding performance and achievement from both RE/MAX International and the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board. You'll find true real estate professionals at ianlindsay.ca.
A reminder that our Sunfest contest closes April 1st at midnight sharp. Someone is going to win a 4-day general admission pass for two. This year's lineup includes John Party, Tyler Hubbard, Riley Green, and Hannah McFarland.
To enter, visit our Facebook or Instagram pages, The Pulse Community, or our website, thepulsecommunity.ca, for details. And stay tuned for more giveaways. We have a summer of them planned.
It's time to meet our first guest today. Here's Marilyn.
Since joining the Qualicum Beach Chamber of Commerce as a board member in 2019, Daniella Novak has risen through the ranks from vice president to chair and now serves as CAO. With a background in financial services and a passion for coaching and community, she's helping shape the future of business in Qualicum Beach.
Daniella, thank you for joining us on the podcast today. I'm delighted to see you again. It's been too long.
Yes, my pleasure. My pleasure, Dave.
You've been involved with the Qualicum Beach Chamber since 2019, starting as board member, then vice president, then chair, now serving as CAO. Again, we get to the origin story. What was the draw, the attraction for you in the first place to be involved?
Short answer is I can't say no to anything. The long answer is I believe you can live in a community or you can participate in your community. And I firmly believe you need to participate in your community. So you have to have a voice. And Chamber of Commerce is a great spot for me. It's a really great spot for me.
How has your perspective on the role of business in community evolved along the way with your experience with the Chamber?
I think it's important to recognize that Qualicum Beach is unique. We really are. And my perspective of the business community hasn't necessarily shifted. I grew up here. So if I was to start with my career prior to this, which was CIBC, the joke was either you went to school with me or you went to school with my mom. We've been around for a very long time. And business has always been, this is where you go for boutique shopping. This is where you go to go golfing. This is where you go to have holidays and spend time with your grandparents and maybe go home with a little fridge magnet, right? I don't know that my perspective has shifted much. It's more confirming what I already knew.
You mentioned your financial background with CIBC, also spending time with RBC, and I'm wondering how your time there, working with businesses and individuals on lending, might have shaped the way you lead the Chamber of Commerce today.
Great question. So a lot of people think that all I did was lending, and the majority of my time, which is darn near 30 years, I know, I have to pause. I have to have a moment of silence for myself. Almost 30 years in the financial industry, but the reality is I spent the majority of my career as a leader. I've worked with a variety of teams, and I've had to posture, figure it out, what's going on, what's happening with the group. I've also had to build a team from nothing. How do you motivate the team from nothing to see the vision and the value and where we're going? How do we see the path? COVID probably was the hardest moment in my career, but also taught me a lot because you learn about human nature, you learn a lot about what motivates people, and those are definitely translatable skills as I moved into the chamber, because at the time that I took over the chamber as chair was at the same time that we were directly taking our administration back from Parksville. When that happened, we had to really stop, think, and realign where we were going. So my training, my experience, if you will, with CIBC, absolutely translatable skills right into the chamber. Leadership is leadership.
So when you came on board, the chamber had, I believe, fewer than 120 members. It has now grown to...
Closing in on 200, and I think we're probably going to hit 300 this year. Yeah, I'm not even making this up. I was doing the math.
Would you view that as solid growth? And what does it say to you in terms of where you stand and where you're going?
Yeah, I think it's solid growth. One of the things, again, I reflect back on when we were taking the administration back and being our own standalone entity, is I am a huge proponent of a stop, start, continue approach, meaning stop what you're doing, take a minute, reflect. Does this make sense? So I'm not an individual who says, just because we've always done it that way, that's the way we should always do it, because maybe how we've always done it that way doesn't make sense anymore. So how do we shift that? How do we work through that? And one of the things we discovered through self-reflection on the board is maybe our members need us to reach out more. Maybe we need better communication. Maybe we need clarity. What is the chamber? What does the chamber do? Perhaps there is a relationship with the town that needs us to spend more quality time with them. There needs to be robust communication and healthy dialogue with them. So we did that. And I think our members saw us really wrapping our wingspan around them. And they recognized that we are the voice of business. We are here to support you. How do we make it easier for you to do business in Qualicum Beach and be successful when you do it? That's where our growth comes from.
So here's a chance to do your pitch in terms of, I'm a business owner in Qualicum Beach. I don't know what's in the chamber for me. How do you convince me that I need to sign up?
It's really about the support. Running a business is hard. It's really hard. And it doesn't matter who you are, who you know, what kind of business you have, how big you are, what's your tagline. It doesn't matter. It's tricky. It's really tricky. And all of us saw and heard the provincial budget. We heard David Eby speaking. We had an immediate reaction. It's hard. So joining the chamber allows for that angst to be alleviated. Let's put it that way, because you've got a whole group behind you who are supporting you, who genuinely want you to be successful. So joining the chamber means you are aligned with all of these other businesses who are feeling the same pain points you are. We're all coming together, and you're allowing us as the chamber to be your advocate to make sure that you are successful.
Just out of curiosity, the chamber offer members access to group benefits, health and dental and life insurance and that kind of thing. Is that a big draw?
Huge. I think for a small business guy, and if I think about my own father who ran trucking companies, that's why he joined the chamber. Was because it allowed him to offer a benefit plan to his employees. So benefits are expensive. They are expensive for an employer. Whereas if you come in as a chamber member, there are all kinds of great benefits that you can extend to your members. We actually have a business after business happening at Iris the Visual Group in June. They are a member, they offer great benefits. So yeah, if there is one reason outside of your ability to connect with like-minded people, would be the benefit plan.
Beyond the annual AGM, any other events or programs that you can speak of coming along?
I'm really excited. I love events because not only does it provide ample opportunity to showcase your own business, but it provides you opportunity to network with other folks. We started last year with a speaker series. It's once a quarter where we have breakfast with your MLA. So Stephanie Higginson came up. It was great. We've got Gord Johns coming to do breakfast with your MP. We've got coffee with a cop. So Sergeant Travis DeCohen comes in, and he's amazing. And our members have responded extremely well to those kinds of things. So we've got those happening. We also have business after business. So once a month, we try to bring everybody together. We've got our AGM coming up April the 21st. Then we've got a joint chamber dinner with both Parksville and Qualicum Beach will come together. I am tasked with finding the guest speaker. I can't tell you who it is, but you're going to love it. I'm just going to say that. Like, start popping your popcorn now. You're going to love it. Our Christmas party, which we also now have a past president's reception. So one of the other things we recognized was there needs to be a better way of celebrating people who came before you. To open our Christmas party, we will have a past president's reception for the first hour, and then we go into the Christmas party. Yes, very chic.
The mobile visitor kiosk was an interesting initiative. I'm curious to know how it worked out, what you learned from it.
I love that kiosk. I know there's a lot of people who say we should just turn it into an ice cream shack, but you know, the cool thing about Qualicum Beach is that we really do have two defined spaces. We've got Uptown, and as a kid who grew up here, that's what we call it, Uptown. The kiosk will be right at the foot of 2nd Avenue where all of the traffic is, foot traffic, street traffic, all of that good stuff. Then there's our main building down at the beach. So what the kiosk allows us is an opportunity to engage with tourists and locals. We have a lot of locals who stop in. They can talk to the folks that are working, the employees that we have in there. You might be interested to know that kiosk was actually busier some days this summer than the office was. It's quite fascinating. So we've got it set up during the Thursday night market. We have it set up on Saturday mornings for the Saturday market. It just gives us an additional point of visibility from a visitor perspective into Qualicum Beach.
And you're all about embracing new tools, social media, AI literacy workshops, grassroots marketing. How do you see technology changing the way small business in Qualicum Beach operates?
Great question. It's interesting you should ask this because I was actually reading a report that social media, AI, they are not going away. And the faster you can embrace those things, the more successful you will be. So we've launched AI workshops in conjunction with the Career Center, Community Futures to support our members. Let's get on top of this. Let's figure out how we can help with our businesses. Social media, another big thing, the way that tourists are coming into town, which is a huge economic driver for us. The way tourists are doing their research is through social media. So the better we are and the faster we are at embracing our brand, the better served we are to ourselves, but also the community. And I'm really excited because we are currently working on a strategy to not rebrand, I'm not going to say we're rebranding, but relaunch the brand of the Chamber. So hold on to your horses.
Watch for the news. Now, as you look ahead to the next year or two, what's the one thing you most want the Qualicum Beach business community to know about where the Chamber is headed?
I am a big proponent of where did we come from? Let's celebrate that. And I think for the Qualicum Beach Chamber of Commerce, we used to be the Board of Trade. That's actually what we were called. 1937. That's how long we've been hanging around. Businesses used to come to the Qualicum Beach Chamber of Commerce to get their business license. They didn't go to the town. That's because the town didn't exist. So they came to us to get their business license. I think moving forward, it is a beautiful relationship of recognizing where we came from and where we're going, recognizing that our job is advocacy. That's what we do. We are an advocate. We want you to be successful doing business here. So whatever we can do to help move or alleviate hurdles, perceived or otherwise, whatever we can do to alleviate those, that's the future of the Chamber of Commerce is let's figure this out. How do we keep sustainability happening at Qualicum Beach and the economic driver, which is tourism for us? How do we keep that going?
Let's just talk about what success looks like for you.
If I was to look at what is the success of the Qualicum Chamber, I think the first thing to know is I am passionate about the Qualicum Beach Chamber of Commerce. And In fact, I had a past president refer to me as weird because I'm so driven by it. And I think my corporate life, my corporate training, and I've actually had to say when I was chair to the board, you have to tell me if I'm too much or if I'm looking at this too much. I'm just used to being at a boardroom where things function a certain way with a certain cadence. So I think success from a chamber perspective is members are telling other potential members that they need to be a member. That's success. If you've got an existing member who says to Dave, who's opening up his dog walking business, before you even get the keys to your shop, you need to get a membership, that is success. And I think for me personally, it's more about my affiliation with Qualicum Beach. I've done pretty good for a kid that's from Qualicum Beach. So to be able to retire out of this job would be a pretty cool success.
Thanks to Daniella Novak for joining us today. The Qualicum Beach Chamber of Commerce is doing thoughtful, forward-looking work to support local businesses and keep tourism thriving in the community. You'll find links to the chamber in our story notes.
And check out our website if you have someone in mind that you think we should be talking to. You can reach us and leave a voice or text message. Click on the contact link at thepulsecommunity.ca. We keep all of our podcasts there, plus events listings, contest information, and Vancouver Island webcam links.
You can find us on Apple, Amazon, iHeart, Spotify, TikTok, and YouTube. We're also on Facebook and Instagram.
Ever find yourself waiting endlessly at a big box pharmacy, feeling like just another number? There's a better way. At Tablet Pharmacy, they provide the personalized service you deserve. Check their competitive prices online at tabletpharmacy.ca before you even leave home. They offer free delivery and blister packaging options to make managing your medications easier than ever. With convenient locations in Parksville, Qualicum Beach, and now open in Nanaimo near the Brick, Tablet Pharmacy has been serving Vancouver Island since 2019. Stop being just a prescription number. Experience the Tablet Pharmacy difference today. Visit them online and check their prices at tabletpharmacy.ca.
At Thrifty Foods, we love to help nonprofits, charities, and schools. Our Thrifty Foods Smile Card bulk program allows organizations to immediately save up to 6% on the purchase of Smile Cards in bulk, allowing you to keep more money in your organization's pockets. Ask for details at Thrifty Foods in Parksville.
Dave, I'd like to come back to this idea of gardening.
Oh, yeah? I'm really impressed by actual gardeners doing real gardening because I'm having a hard time keeping up with my crop.
You mean your pot of mint?
Some people call it container gardening, but, well, I'm a mint farmer now, and it's a demanding life, I'll tell you. I had hoped to maybe add a little thing of rosemary, but I'm just not sure I could keep up. Okay, let's bring on our next guest. Marilyn?
Laura Kelsey is a Nanaimo-based vocalist, songwriter, filmmaker, and poet whose work spans from symphonic rock stages to documentary film sets to the pages of literary journals. With a powerhouse voice and a restless creative spirit, she's releasing her debut full-length album, Hidden Mountains.
Thanks for joining us on the podcast today, Laura. It's great to meet you.
Oh, wonderful to be here, Peter. Thank you so much.
Now, you started music at a young age. I always like to start the conversations on where folks started. So tell us about singing and writing for bands at a young age in and around Vancouver. How young were you?
I feel like I've always enjoyed singing. I'm certainly a singer first. I started joining bands here and there. I got to jump in as a singer. I think I started at 18, and then it went from there. I just got to be in different genres, everything from metal to folk and blues bands as well.
And you eventually moved to the interior of BC and began performing as a solo artist. What prompted that move?
Lack of a drummer, probably, I think.
Are drummers hard to find?
In the Caribou, I think they are. I think it was living in solitude there and just playing the guitar, learning how to play the guitar. I didn't grow up learning to play any instruments. That gave me some time to work on the guitar. I'm still working on it. I'm taking lessons now. That's probably what prompted it. And then just writing all the time.
I've read some reviewers who have compared your vibe to Stevie Nicks and Florence and the Machine. It's pretty high praise. What do you think when you hear comparisons to other artists? Do they resonate with you, or do you feel like you've carved out something distinctly on your own and How dare you compare me to somebody else?
I don't know if there's anything original left, really. Like, everybody's done everything, but at the same time, everyone is their own person and has their unique experiences. So they all create something that can be original. I'm sure my voice has been molded by all the different songs I've sung along to in my life. To be compared to great artists is absolutely a great honor.
Laura, in 2014, speaking of doing something completely different, you were the lead vocalist for a symphonic metal band, which I believe was nominated for a Western Canadian Music Award. And that very same year, you wrote a 10-song rock musical that premiered in Vancouver. So you seem to be constantly pushing into new creative territory.
Yeah, I'd actually sang some death metal up until that point for a few years. I wasn't very good at it with my vocal cords. I actually hurt my vocal cords and created nodules on them, which can happen. And those are actually calluses because your vocal cords are hitting too hard together. So I relearned how to use them properly. And because of that, though, I feel like my voice is a lot stronger and I'm able to do 4-hour gigs back to back and still feel great. Each experience is, sometimes it can be a drawback, but at the same time, it leads to better things.
And what kind of music were you singing? What kind of songs would we relate to?
They were all very cathartic. Death metal can be very melodic and symphonic in a way, orchestral, but you just got to listen past the loudness too. It's a lot about just getting it out, but I feel like I was getting too much out. I was just laying it all out there and screaming a lot. That hurt my vocal cords.
I think the whole world learned a lot about nodules and what they were and how to use them or not use them when Elton John went under surgery for nodules at the peak of his career and managed to come back.
There you go. And Julie Andrews had the surgery, and that actually damaged her vocal cords. You can actually massage them away with exercise rather than have surgery, though.
So, Laura, you're a member of SOCAN and Music BC and has served as a juror for Factor Canada. I've done some regional work for Factor in the past. So how has engaging in the ecosystem of the music industry influenced how you think about your own career?
It's very inspiring to read everyone's submissions with the Factor jurors in the Factor programs. And it's very cool to see, sometimes you get to read about or see someone's submission just as they're entering in like the ground level of things. And then a year later, you see them at the Juno Awards or something, you know, they've done so well. And it's inspiring. It's not like I'm out there to get a Juno or any awards or anything. But at the same time, it's possible. These people are just like everyday folks, and they're just writing and being creative.
I wanted to ask you about New Home, New Music. It's a series you produced for TELUS Story Hive, a series profiling musicians who immigrated to Nanaimo, where you live. What drew you to the story, and what surprised you most about making it?
I spoke with my friend Kiana, who's featured in the story, and she talked about how she had immigrated from China and lived in Nanaimo now. Just what she went through to get here, and at one point she had to leave with her newborn and come back, and just such an inspiring story of adversity. Music stayed with her the entire time. That's really one of the things that inspired me to get her story out there, and then also to find others who would like to share their stories.
And who were some of those other people?
They were all absolutely amazing interviews, and it was really inspiring to hear their stories. Vocalist, composer Shruti Ramani, she does traditional Indian singing with a hybrid of jazz. Absolutely incredible, otherworldly vocals. She's actually moved to Vancouver and she's doing huge things. Like, she's been nominated for big awards. Absolutely amazing artist.
You also wrote and directed a short film named Tub that won audience favorite at a 1-minute mobile movie award show. How does filmmaking feed or maybe challenge you as a musician and a songwriter?
I got to do a few short films, and I've also got to do a little bit of acting as well. Anytime you get to create and piece together a story is what it's all about, I feel like, about being creative. Recently, I've completed the Found and Sound series, which was 2 seasons through TELUS Story Hive as well. That was all about how sound, vibration, and music influence mental, physical, and emotional health. The first season was all about, really focused on interviews with sound workers, music therapists, dancers, musicians, people who are directly working with sound and can see the benefits for others. The second season went into the reciprocal kind of relationship between sound, between humans and nature, and how we influence in the ocean, the boats, how loud they are. Can plants make music? Can fish sing? Which they can, and it's amazing. You don't expect these things. That was certainly an adventure.
Now you've got me. How do fish sing?
Oh, they make different sounds in different ways that you don't expect. So some of them have something called sonic muscles around their swim bladders, and they can use those to vibrate and make them make different sounds. Others can crack like you would snap, but snap their bones, like their whole bodies. So there's multiple ways that fish communicate through sound that people just aren't aware of.
The house band for Skookum Kids series that Dave and I produce, which is called The Mellow Submarine, the house band is Eddie Van Haddock and the Rockfish. They're doing it.
It's true.
So, Laura, it's not enough that you write songs, perform songs, get in front of a camera, get behind the camera, interview people. You also write poetry. I believe you debuted a poetry chapbook called West Coast Shorts a few years back, and your poems have appeared in publications across the country. Do you see songwriting and poetry as coming from the same place?
Absolutely, yes. I started writing poetry before I was putting the songs together. Then a song is a poem. Just, it felt natural that I enjoy singing and I enjoy writing, and I'm just putting those together for sure. It's neat that Window Seat Books in Nanaimo is putting on a local authors month in April, and they've asked me to put in some copies of West Coast Shorts. Good for them for supporting local authors.
Now, you've played everywhere from the Rickshaw Theatre in Vancouver to festivals up and down the island. Nanaimo keeps calling you back. What does the city mean to you as an artist?
I've lived here for almost 10 years. I absolutely love it. I feel like it's very accepting in most ways. Has a really engaging art scene. Even the city puts a lot of funding into arts. We've got these visual art installations around town, murals. It's a very cool place. The downtown is very bustling, like the art gallery, the museum, the library is absolutely beautiful. But then the venues too are very supportive. You've got the Queens and the Globe Live Studio as well. That's a newer spot. The owner, Rich, has put a lot into creating as this amazing venue. It's got this beautiful stage, sound system, lights. Like, it is a really happening spot. The Nanaimo Bar. These people are one-person shows mostly, and they're devoting their lives to bringing live music. There's also a lot of restaurants that continue to have live music. That is a huge income source for local musicians. It's nice to be able to play your original music to a crowd and then they listen. But it's also fine for me to sit in a corner and play cover songs and just bring a live element to that room as people eat. Like, I'm okay with that. And I think there must be something to that. Maybe it helps people digest their food better. Like the vibration of someone singing and playing. People can sing along too when they feel like it. I'm thankful for anywhere that has live music that supports that.
You've got a new album, Laura. Tell us about Hidden Mountains.
So my new album, it's a follow-up to my EP, Hunting Season, which was out in 2023. That was funded by Creative BC, and Hidden Mountains was not. Hidden Mountains is just my own funding. So it's not as produced. I don't have a live drums. So it's a little scaled back, but it's still got an epic feel, I hope. Engineer Paul Simolini at Canary Sound. He has done an amazing job. He did a lot of the instruments as well. He's a multi-instrumentalist, amazing songwriter, singer. It's a journey into modern mythology again, stories that I've just come up with.
Was there a central theme or feeling you were chasing from the beginning on the album?
Myth and mystery, maybe. Stories from the unknown, I guess.
Tell us about the song Crescents.
Crescents is probably the most upbeat number on the album. It's one of the most recent ones that I have written. Some of them I've written 10 years ago. Crescents is one of the newest ones. Paul is playing guitar on that track. I'm playing harmonica. It is a good song for running too, I hope.
Two moons they crisscross cause the crescents all to crackle. Lavender water lapping high tide floods the trees. Milky after meeting the pollen from the cat. It's the flowers that spew when they're hoping to the sea. Rivers reversed and now they're flowing back to glaciers, tipping their hats as they pat tattooed royalty. If there were questions, now there are too many answers to none of the castle till it bursts at the seams. Now we, they're lost, are lost, they trickle through hands of the gods, and then they're on the run, on the run, on the run, on the stars are shimmering, the pupils of the faces. Freedom flows before the grasping hands at last. Finally united and about to storm the castle. An earthquake decides to break the whole world in half. Now we, they're lost, are lost. They trickle through hands of the gods, and then they're on the run, on the run, on the
You mentioned Paul Similini at Canary Sound in Lanceville. What does having a local recording relationship close to home bring to the process?
Paul's great to work with. You can bring him a guitar tone and say, I want this obscure guitar tone that I heard once somewhere, but I also want it to be tweaked in a certain way. But having someone local, it cuts down on costs for sure, and travel costs as well. You can certainly collaborate more often. So let's do an hour here and there rather than, I've got to take 2 ferries and stay a weekend or something. So that is helpful. I hope to work with Winston again, who did the engineering and produced Hunting Season. And he's on Bowen Island. So it's a different experience for sure to go somewhere and then you feel really fancy because you're like, ooh, I am here to record. Like I'm on a totally different place. And you get to stay over and just create. That is nice as well. So it's 2 different experiences for sure.
So what's next for Laura Kelsey? Is there a direction you're already feeling pulled towards, a project you already got planned? You've got all these projects on the go.
It's true. That's always something, but I feel like that's everybody, right? We do have an album release event happening April 18th at the Globe. I did just hear that I got some exciting news that I've been accepted to do the Artists on Board program through VI Rail. So I get to, hopefully, if the stars align and the dates work out, I get to go to Toronto and back on the train and play every day and play music. So that's really exciting.
There's nothing like being on the train heading across the country.
Never been on the train. I'm very excited.
I went to the Junos and back on a train.
Oh, cool.
Cool. And it was a lot of fun. Nice. And the food was fantastic. And of course, it's very intimate setting. You get to know everybody around you very quickly.
Yeah, I wonder about the sleeping. Is it loud?
No, you go to sleep right away. Just like your mama rocking you to sleep.
Like it lulls you to sleep. The tracks like...
There's a song in there, Laura.
There's many songs about trains, that's for sure. And I'm sure I'll be writing one on the train.
Laura Kelsey, what a talent with Hidden Mountains. We'll have links to Laura's music and her work in our story notes at thepulsecommunity.ca. It's a debut album, a long time in the making. From what we just heard, it's very much worth the wait. I'm going to go listen to it right now, in fact. Well, once we're done here. Actually, I have an appointment with Chocolate right after this, but I'll hear it soon.
Our Skookum Kid Stories feature Captain Dave and the crew of the Mellow Submarine, and Peter and Gracie, the Eskimo dog. Our Kid Stories now offer coloring pages to go along with each new episode.
This week, Captain Dave and Larry the Lobster discover the Deep Bay Drop-Off. Now, I don't want to give too much away, but Larry handles it remarkably well for a crustacean.
And our Radio Archaeology Classic Radio Series features original episodes of Dragnet, featuring Sergeant Joe Friday, and Gunsmoke with Marshal Matt Dillon.
Plus, we invite you to join another member of the Pulse Community Podcasts as Cindy Thompson of Parksville hosts a Resilience Project. Through guest stories, listeners can discover key elements that can move us from surviving to thriving. These are stories of resilience.
And Parksville councillors Joel Grenz and Sean Wood, the nonpartisan hacks, take listeners behind the scenes of municipal advocacy work that directly impacts Vancouver Island taxpayers.
You'll find these podcasts and more at thepulsecommunity.ca. And while you're on the website, sign up for our weekly newsletter to keep up to date on the latest podcasts, guests, and contests.
The Sunfest contest closes April 1st at midnight. Get your entry in at thepulsecommunity.ca or on our Facebook and Instagram pages.
We hope you're able to get outside this Easter weekend, enjoy some of that beautiful spring weather here in Paradise. Maybe you'll want to hide some Easter eggs and, I don't know, invite your favorite local podcast hosts for a hunt. No pressure. Just so you know, I prefer Cadbury products, if that's at all helpful, although I will accept Nestle's, and in a pinch, I allow Hershey.
Anything else?
Why, are you taking notes? That's so thoughtful.
No, I'm not. I'm just wondering if you're finished, because we need to wrap it up.
You know what I think we need in the cafeteria, Peter?
What's that, Dave?
A chocolate bar. Get it?
Okay, folks. Thanks for listening.
You understand what I'm saying here, right? It's a bar where you can order chocolate. A chocolate bar. Hey, Peter, where are you going? Okay, wait up. Happy Easter, everybody.
Here come Peter, here comes Dave. Oh, listen. Bringing stories, making waves. No missing. Spinning tales in the podcast cave. So spin. Laughs and insights everywhere. What a treat. Peter and Dave, they're on the mic, so